Imagine stepping into a millennia-old monument and discovering it was designed not just to impress, but to kill. That's right. Human history is filled with majestic structures hiding lethal secrets, ingenious traps, and mysteries that still baffle archaeologists today. The most curious part? Many of these traps weren't just meant to protect treasures, but also to guard secrets. Today, we'll explore some of the most fascinating monuments from the ancient world that carry more than grandeur in their stones. Hidden dangers that turned curious explorers into victims. Get ready, because after this video, you'll never look at a pyramid, temple, or tomb the same way again. Let's start with one of the most striking examples: the tombs of Egypt. For many, pyramids are merely symbols of pharaonic power, but there are records of real traps designed to deter tomb raiders. Picture corridors that narrow until they suffocate, massive stones ready to collapse, and even chambers filled with poisonous gases. It's almost as if the engineers of ancient Egypt invented the concept of a security system thousands of years before modern safes. The most intriguing part? Not everything has been uncovered. Some archaeologists believe there are still intact secret passages waiting to be opened. But will those who dare to cross them survive? Let's dive deep into the Egyptian pyramids and uncover the deadly tricks hidden within. Would you have the courage to explore an ancient tomb knowing the risks? Let us know in the comments, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next mysteries. Now picture this. You're a tomb raider in ancient Egypt, sneaking into a pyramid in the dead of night, thinking you'll walk out rich. But with every step, the structure seems ready to swallow you alive. Pyramids weren't just tombs. They were fortresses of eternity. Many pharaohs believed death wasn't the end, and their bodies and treasures needed protection at all costs. That's why ingenious architects created traps capable of turning greed into a death sentence. Among the most terrifying were sliding stones. Entire corridors were designed to collapse if someone stepped on specific pressure points, burying the intruder alive. There were also false passages meant to confuse invaders and make them wander in circles until exhaustion. It's as if the pyramids were labyrinths programmed to defeat any curious soul. And there's more. In some tombs, researchers found evidence that toxic gases could build up over time, making the air unbreathable. A careless explorer could drop dead without even noticing the danger. Not to mention the infamous Pharaoh's Curse, which, though it sounds like superstition, gained traction after the mysterious deaths of several members of Tutankhamun's expedition. Coincidence? Or not. But the Egyptians weren't alone in this game of protecting secrets with deadly risks. On the other side of the world, an emperor built a colossal monument that still holds mysteries worthy of a horror movie. Would you dare to venture inside a pyramid knowing these dangers? If the pyramids already seem otherworldly, wait until you hear about the mausoleum of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. This man didn't just want to be remembered for eternity. He wanted to be feared even after death. Beneath a seemingly ordinary hill lies one of the most mysterious monuments ever built, a massive funerary complex guarded by thousands of life-size terracotta soldiers. Each statue is unique, as if molded from real people. But what's most intriguing isn't visible. According to ancient records, the mausoleum's interior hides lethal traps. Chinese historians wrote that secret corridors were filled with arrows ready to fire if anyone tried to enter. And there's something even more terrifying. Artificial rivers of mercury were supposedly built to represent Earth's seas, surrounding the central tomb. The chilling detail? Mercury is poisonous, and modern studies have confirmed high concentrations of the metal in the surrounding soil. In other words, anyone who dares to dig could literally die of poisoning. It's as if Qin Shi Huang created a deadly capsule designed to punish any intruder. The most astonishing part? The central tomb has never been opened. Archaeologists simply don't know how to enter without risking their lives. Now imagine this is just part of the story. There are other monuments around the world built to guard treasures and, at the same time, protect secrets with certain death. Would you risk opening Qin Shi Huang's tomb, knowing what might be inside? In the heart of Central America, amidst dense jungles and silent volcanoes, civilizations rose that mastered time, space, and fear. The Maya and Aztecs didn't just build grandiose temples. They created settings for rituals blending faith, power, and death. Imagine climbing the Pyramid of Chichen Itza in Mexico. With each step, You feel the sun burning your skin and the weight of centuries of whispered stories in the stones. At the top, in the temple of Kukulkan, it's said that human sacrifices were performed to please the gods. But the most chilling detail is the architecture itself. Perfect acoustics that amplify sounds as if they were divine voices. A simple clap at the pyramid's base echoes like the cry of a sacred bird. Coincidence or intentional engineering? Among the Aztecs, the great Tenochtitlan housed temples that were true altars of blood. Mass sacrifices were performed at the Templo Mayor, and it's believed the corridors and platforms were designed to channel the victim's blood to the ground, symbolically nourishing the earth. It's chilling to think that, for them, this was an essential part of cosmic balance. These monuments didn't hide physical traps like the Egyptian pyramids or the Chinese mausoleum, but they held another kind of deadly secret, the psychological weight of terror. Entering one of these temples at the height of their glory meant facing the certainty that you could be the next offering. What if I told you there are structures that blend both worlds, physical traps and bloody rituals? While the West and the Americas impressed with size and symbolism, in the East, danger was hidden in the smallest details. India, for example, holds legends of sacred temples that seem to have been built as deadly labyrinths. One of the most famous is the Padmanabhaswamy Temple in southern India. It's considered one of the richest temples in the world, but also one of the most mysterious. Inside, there are secret chambers, some opened, others still sealed. Here's the enigma. One of these doors, known as Vault B, has never been breached. Legends say it's protected by enchantments, and opening it would bring disaster or death to anyone who tries. To this day, authorities and archaeologists avoid touching it. It's as if the temple were a sacred vault, programmed to never reveal all its secrets. In the Middle East, stories of cursed tombs also abound. Legend has it that in some graves of ancient Persian rulers, engineers created trap mechanisms with spears and tilting stones, ready to strike intruders. Little remains of these structures, but medieval explorers' accounts speak of passages that closed like a hungry mouth on anyone who dared enter. These examples show that, across different cultures, there was a common idea. The monument wasn't just a structure, it was a guardian. Now imagine monuments that beyond all this became the stage for mysterious deaths even in modern times. In medieval Europe, castles were not just symbols of power and prestige. They were war machines disguised as palaces, designed to protect their lords and turn an invader's life into a living nightmare. Imagine approaching a castle in the 13th century. You cross a wooden bridge and suddenly, you realize you're trapped. The gate slams shut behind you and dozens of holes in the ceiling begin pouring down stones, boiling oil, or even scalding sand. This device had a grim name, Mato Grosso, or kill thick, in some languages, the medieval equivalent of a perfect ambush. And it doesn't stop there. Many internal corridors were designed in spirals to slow down enemies, forcing them to advance cautiously, while archers fired from hidden slits. Narrow staircases had deliberately uneven steps, causing invaders to stumble mid-battle. It's as if every architectural detail was a silent trap, waiting for the right moment to strike. Some castles even hid underground prisons called oubliettes, from the French word for to forget. These were deep pits where prisoners were thrown and left to die slowly, with no chance of escape. A monument that looked like a fairy tale from the outside could be the setting of a horror movie within. But human imagination knows no bounds. While medieval fortresses used architecture as a weapon, other monuments drew their danger from nature itself. Not all traps in ancient monuments were crafted by human hands. In some cases, nature itself added a deadly twist, making these places even more fascinating and terrifying. A striking example is the city of Pompeii in Italy. Though not built to kill, it became a memorial to destruction. Mount Vesuvius, which seemed harmlessly dormant, erupted in 79 AD, turning streets, houses, and temples into traps of stone and fire. Imagine walking through a bustling city when suddenly the ground shakes, the sky darkens, and a rain of toxic ash engulfs everything in minutes. The monuments of Pompeii still bear the scars of that deadly day. In Central America, sacred caves used by the Maya for rituals also hid deadly secrets. Many are filled with razor-sharp stalactites, narrow passages and deep underground lakes. For the ancients, entering these places was a way to approach the gods. But for an unprepared modern explorer, they can be a natural trap with no escape. And let's not forget Japan, where temples were built on volcanic slopes. Some shrines still stand in high-risk areas, where the earth could awaken at any moment. It's as if faith itself defied danger. When nature allies with human architecture, it creates monuments that feel alive and ready to swallow anyone who dares challenge them. Some monuments seem to carry a shadow that lingers across centuries. No matter how far science advances, there's always a mystery that persists, and sometimes it even claims new victims. Take the Great Pyramid of Giza. Despite being one of the most studied monuments on Earth, it still holds unexplored areas. Every time researchers attempt to open secret passages, reports emerge of strange accidents or sudden deaths among team members. This fuels the legend of the Pharaoh's curse, the fear that tampering where you shouldn't comes at a steep price. Another curious case is the Kailasa Temple in India, carved entirely from a single massive rock. Engineers still can't fathom how such precision was achieved with primitive tools. The aura of mystery is so strong that there are stories of people disappearing or dying in unexplained circumstances after exploring restricted areas of the temple. It could be coincidence, but who would risk finding out? Then there are the ruins of Machu Picchu, the lost city in Peru. Some local guides swear that disrespectful visitors suffer unusual accidents like falls on trails or sudden illnesses. Is it just the treacherous mountains or something more? These stories show that even in the 21st century, monuments still command respect and fear. It's as if they whisper, "Don't cross the line." The more we study these monuments, the more we realize they weren't built solely from stone but also from silence. A silence that spans millennia and may never be broken. Consider the sealed chambers of the Padmanabhaswamy Temple in India. Even with modern technology, archaeologists hesitate to open the infamous Vault B. What lies behind it? Unimaginable treasures? Deadly traps? Or something that simply shouldn't be disturbed? The truth is, we may never know. The same goes for the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the emperor who unified China. It remains unopened to this day. Science has confirmed absurdly high levels of mercury in the surrounding soil, but no one dares breach the heart of the mausoleum. It's as if the emperor left a message. This is no place for the living. These examples reveal something fascinating. Even in the age of satellites, drones, and artificial intelligence, some secrets of the past remain out of reach. Monuments refuse to yield all their answers, as if determined to preserve their mysteries forever. And perhaps that's the most terrifying part. It's not just the physical traps, but the sense that some truths were meant to stay hidden, as if every stone carried a silent pact between the past and the present. Should we keep trying to uncover them, or accept that some mysteries are eternal? After journeying through pyramids, temples, mausoleums, and castles, one question lingers. Why did so many different civilizations hide their secrets behind deadly traps? The answer may lie in fear. Fear of losing power, fear of having their riches plundered, fear that the world would forget their deeds. But there was something deeper, the certainty that mystery is a form of eternity. These monuments weren't built just to impress, they were made to challenge thieves, invaders, the curious, and even death itself. Every stone, every corridor, every trap seems to shout the same thing. This is not a place for just anyone. It's almost as if these monuments were tests, selecting who dares to cross their thresholds. What's most incredible is that, centuries later, they still fulfill that role. We remain fascinated, wary, and in some ways, intimidated by these structures. Even with modern technology, we hesitate to open sealed doors, explore hidden chambers, or decipher secret passages. Perhaps because deep down we still fear the same secrets that terrified our ancestors. So I ask, is it worth uncovering everything? Or are some mysteries what keep the magic of history alive? Now it's your turn. Which of these monuments do you find the most frightening? Would you have the courage to enter one? Let us know in the comments, like this video if you enjoyed our journey, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories the ages have nearly hidden from us.